Hello fellow traders, this is Points and Ticks and I'm Ryan, and this is actually our first video on this channel. So I know it's a bit weird, you're thinking why is he starting with a blank screen? So I wanted to do a Tradovate tutorial because I believe it's one of the most underutilized tools in our arsenal that we actually have. So now if you are trading like me and a lot of people, you're trading futures and you're trading prop firms, right? The point that I want to get onto immediately is trading view, right? A lot of people use it. It's very easy on the eye. It's aesthetically pleasing, right? You know, you can utilize what you want to do. You can have your bars up here. I use it, but I've started to migrate away from using it, and this simply because I'll tell you is most prop firms. So Tradovate is owned by Ninja Trader, and you can trade multiple different prop firms on it as well. The Funded Trader, Trade Day, Apex Traders, the one that I trade. So you're getting that for free. You're getting Tradovate for free. So if you are a new trader, or if you're still getting your foot in, finding the ropes, you need to be utilizing your money. Like, we need our capital for other things. So now if you're looking at £34, right, that's $46. You're looking at £15, that's $20, right? So right now, Tradovate, Apex Trader Funding has a deal, save now, save capital now, is $35. Now, if you're utilizing that every month and you're learning Tradovate, and even if you don't, it might not be for you, but this is just trying to utilize your capital, right? In every penny counts when we're trying to get more accounts, because that account could be the one that sends you on to getting your first payment, and then you really could buy the year's worth. But that being said, there's money being left on the table when you're using TradingView and you're getting Tradovate for free, right? So going over to here, it does feel clunky when you're first here, but you can go and speak to anyone who's able to batter out MetaTrader 3, especially and MetaTrader 4. They seem clunky as hell, right? Now we know obviously TradingView is very easy on the eye, so let's get into it anyway. So we're going to build. That's why I've started it a blank, because we're going to build it together. So I'm going to show you the way I like to do things, but I'm going to show you a few things along the way. So you've got tools here that are utilized. Yeah, you've got market analyzer. You can see what the last price was, the change in the price, the bids, the offers, the open, the high, right? We all know about market analyzers, right? So we're now looking in different things. You can look at the spread matrix. So the spread matrix, look, that's the crude oil calendar. So if people don't know about it, which you should if you're trading futures, is the different dates of the months. So we're going into CLM, we've come from CLKs, but look, it will show you what's going on. And these are tools that can be utilized that you don't even get offered on TradingView. If you do, I'm unaware of them. But right now, we're going to pull over a chart. So we're going to start. There's a chart. So now, if we look on here, we've got this chart. This is the one thing. Look, you've got a data box immediately, which is it's a very good tool as well. You've got the opening, the high, the low, the close, and then you've got a simple moving average that it just gives you, just because it's on there. That can be customized as well. But going into this, you've got TPO, which you cannot get on TradingView for the simple price. You would have to go into at least bare minimum the plus, right? So the TPO is the time price opportunity. This is a creation of Peter Stoudemire, and I know this because it was the same person who did the market profile analysis, which is what I basically trade, is auction market theory. So that's how I know about Peter Stoudemire. But this, I don't really use it, but it moves very differently. So that's just a tool that you've got there. You've got point and figure. Now, point and figure I do not use, but point and figure, it moves. So when you get closer, look, it will move in X's and O's, and it doesn't move regularly like bars. It moves in set prices. It will rise and fall in set prices, and when you go closer, these are actually zeros and X's, and that's how it moves. But this is mainly for long-term investors. It's not really for intraday traders. So you've got Renko, which one thing that I want to show you, I don't use Renko, but this is stuff that can be utilized for people. This is the one thing I do really want to show though, is you cannot get Renko on a £15 a month. So the money is definitely being left on the table, and this is $46 or £34, right? That's sterling. This, you would have to pay that to get Renko charts. You would have to pay that to get multi conditions, right? You volume footprints. You'd need to pay for that. So right now, I've just shown you a few. You got Heikinashi. This is very good charts. If you're able to read these are very good. So you're getting this all for free. So now you've got bid ask volume as well, right? So you can see the volume of what's going on, what the bids are, what ask is. These are all tools that can be utilized, but they're being left on the table, right? So anyway, moving forward, you've got different tricks, right? So I'm going to just show you a few in here now. So you've got your template list where you can make a chart and you can save them. You can save them differently. So you've got your indicators that people want. You've got your Bollinger Bands. You've got pivots. You've got moving average, exponential moving average, simple move. You've got all the moving averages. You've got the oscillators. You've got the explore community indicators as well. There's a lot of different indicators on there, and that's the same how TradingView is as well, where you can get people's indicators, right? So you can put them on there. You've now got the opportunity to, people don't know some of these, is that if you click on this, you can change it. You can change your candlestick types. You can do it Heikinashi. You can change to what color it is, whether you want it to be brown, yellow, pink. It doesn't matter. You can change it. You can change all your candles on here, right? The one thing I do like is when they're at a certain level, when they really didn't get there, they turn grey. So now we've got a lot of little things that don't pop up, which are quite frustrating, right? So I'm going to go to the micros because I want to show you this, and I do not want to be losing capital in their account, right? So a lot of the time when people are trying to trade, right? So there's two things that I want to get straight to. Is one, up here, it's very annoying when you're used to seeing the timer down so you know what's going on, right? That's the bar countdown. Just enable it and put it up and it'll pop up there, right? So now we know what it is. That's on the 15 minutes and it's got 4 minutes left, yeah? So that was one thing that was pretty frustrating. So now we can get in. We've got one contract here. We can get in, buy, right?
Order filled.
So the one thing that was pretty annoying is that it didn't show you where your stops are. So now you can put a sell limit up here and that's your stop loss now, right? But it's got no line on it, which is pretty frustrating. Yeah. So now we want to see them lines. You want to be able to see your lines when you're on there. Otherwise, how do you get to know where your stop is? So that's where you need to put show order lines. There you go. So now we know where our order line is. So if you was to right click, you're now going to put your buy limit there, and that's your stop loss now. So now what people didn't show is you can simply move that up and down. It's really easy. You can move it up and down. You can do whatever you need to do on there. Yeah. And so we're gonna look at another scenario where you can still better off. There's different ways to set the trades, right? So if you want to come out and you want to set a trade immediately for what it is that you want to do, right? So say, for example, we want to set a trade now on here and we want our ticks to be, so you can name it. So you can go, right, we're going to go long, say you want to add a name, we're going to go long heavy, right? you're going for it. You've seen the trade, you really like it. We're going to put a take profit and a stop loss on there, and the ticks, we're going for 70 ticks, for example, and we're going to go for 20 ticks stop loss, right? So now when we add that on long heavy, when we add this on, how many contracts, say we're going 3 contracts, we're going to go for a sell, for example.
Order filled.
Now that's going to immediately put it on. That's immediately put in there now. So that's because it looks small, because this is the micros, but that'll be 70 ticks, right? So it would immediately set that on. So now you've got your take profit, your stop loss, and it's preset in there, right? So when you're setting up a trade, you can immediately have multiple different, you can have different settings on here, and that just makes it easy for you. It just makes it easy, right? So when we come to closing an account, yeah, so we've actually ended up getting one of the stops done. So you can close all. You can come out of, if you was in there up, you can close one contract, you can close it all. If you want to close it all, you just
order filled,
market exit. So now when we're coming on to a trade that you want to take on the bid, so we're going to go to the DOM now. We're going to bring the DOM in. There's the DOM. So the super DOM's there. Now you're going to pull that over. So now I'm going to set up we're going to go back and I'm going to show you how you can easily set up all from scratch, right? And then I'll show you the trade. So we want to bring a chart over here. Good. So now we're on the micro. So now we're going to get the super DOM, which is the depth of market, for anyone who doesn't know. So, and then I'm going to go over the super DOM as well with you. So we're going to bring the super DOM in here. This is how I do mine. So we're going to have our orders down here. So these were our orders that we took just now. And it comes up because we took multiple micros. Just for an example, I wanted to show you, we took 3. It will count as that when they got stopped out. And then we want to bring, so we've got our positions, then we want our performance now. So we're going to get our trade performance, and then you're going to put it to this side here. So now we know our orders and we know our trade performance center. And now the last one is, we want our positions. So our positions is here. So now we know the positions, we know the order center, right? We've got our orders on there. So now we've got all of our stuff that we want on there. You've got your orders, your trade performance, and then you can have your positions on there as well, right? So we've got our positions on there already. So now we want to go into our micros. So yeah, this is it's ending. So that's what it's letting us know, is that the contract is ending because it's coming towards the end now. So now look, we've got our performance center. So this was a profit, but we lost $64. But it's all worth it to show you guys. So this is, we can now open and close this. It's going to give you a small example. So the one that we ended up closing was like $3 right here, and it will show you exactly what your actual expectancy is, what your trades and fees and commissions was, and how much your trade. So we're 2 to 1 technically on there, right? So that is great to actually see. You can see what's actually going on when you're on there, and I'll show you that in a second. So these are all our orders, and you can move this around in the way that you want it if you want the performance center there. So now we've got our bars, we want to take it to candlesticks. And the one thing that I wanted to show you as well is that when you are in chart settings, what was normally happening to people is, if you are if you've ever had it on here, so we can full size this by the way as well. If you've ever had it where you want to look up here and it keeps springing back like this and it doesn't give you the freedom, you can move backwards, but when you start trying to look to where your trade's going, it will just, after a while, just spring you back. You start to go like that, and then it will just spring you back to this point. That's because the continuous auto fit is on. and it needs to be off, and then you can have full freedom, right? And you can change these charts as well. You can change to all your different settings. So we wanted to put our fill orders, we want to show our order lines, because otherwise it's not, we want to show our fills as well, where we're taking them. Otherwise, when you put on your trade, you're not going to know where your stop loss is, where your take profit is. And that's just, I'm not sure why it's not on there. So we've got the day volume profile as well. That's a good profile that's just on there. I normally have it on as well. But the color schemes now as well, you can have it on a light mode and a dark mode. So the reason why it didn't change is because I have one on one and one on the other. So if you change both of them to light, then it will change to light if that's what you like. So it is very customizable to what you actually want it to do. The continuous auto feed, make sure that's on, that's off, sorry. And then, yeah, I normally like to keep it on the dark mode. And that's just my preference, but everyone does it what they want to do. You can also take off this grid as well. So the grid is easy, just take it off like that, and then that's off. And then a lot of stuff is that you need to just tinker around. Like I said here before, you can change your colors. A lot of people like to, on TradingView, actually have it yellow and blue, because it's psychologically, it says that you see red and you panic, you see green, you might panic, you might close trades early, right? But so if we close this now, we can now this is the DOM, right? So we're on the micros on DOM, we're on micros on here. So now this is where you can put in your trades, and you can so I'll show you the DOM, but I'll show you this trade. So there's bids coming from under here, 16 bids, right? You can actually put your trade in. So this is a quantity of 1, right? So we can put a trade in from there. Order filled. And once it comes past here, it's going to put us in. Yeah. So it's put us in immediately because it must have touched it. But what happens is when it's going down, it can touch it, but you can actually put you can put a buy order in and you can put a sell order in from here. So now if you go into this settings, if you show histogram, it actually shows you, look here, that there was 297 bids here. But the only problem with this one is it's not as advanced as some of the other ones, but you don't even get a DOM on TradingView. So this is, it won't show you a footprint, right? So it doesn't show you there was 297 and 150 was buys and 147 was sells, right? It won't tell you that, but it's good to have it on. So you can show the bid ask, and you can show the pulling and stacking, right? So this will now show you exactly what's coming in. So unfortunately, this won't show you about spoofing. And if you don't know about spoofing, I'll be talking about stuff later on down the line. But spoofing is like the equivalent of poker bluffs, right? So it's when institutions put down orders, and they pull the orders before they're filled, and it looks on the DOM, it looks like there's more volume than it is. It's just bluffing basically. But on here you have these settings to change it. There's a lot of different settings on the DOMs, but you can make orders from this DOM, and it's a very valuable tool. So look, if you look down, it's showing you the order volume. It's showing you, look, that there was 5, there's 6, there's 4, and it's going downwards, right? And it just gives you a lot of different confluences. So if you add them with other things, right? But that being said, you've got a tool to be utilized here. You've got the DOM, you've got this now. So now if you want to open this up, you've got a full chart here. And the best thing as well now is if you get here and you scroll up and down, you can move it up and down, you can move it to the side. And that was quite frustrating, where it kept snapping back and it wasn't allowing me the freedom that I needed. But once you got past that, it was pretty good. And you've got a lot of different settings. So before I forget, I want to get into trade. The reason why a lot of people use Apex trading, but you can use it on a lot of Apex trading will allow you 20 accounts. That's why a lot of people use it. But other prop firms will allow you to use multiple accounts, so you can do that for free on here. You do not need another platform, so you're saving more money as well, because a lot of people use other platforms to group trade, whereas you need to come here and then you click it and you activate it. All of these should be activated, the free indicators, the tick streams, this definitely the trading view to link it as well if you want to use it, if you are using it, and your order flows, right? But that being said, if you want to group trade, you will come into here and you will, when you have it to actually trade, you can come into here. No, that's not it. So when you have to have multiple accounts to group trade, but when you come here, it will be underneath here, and you will have an option to group trade, and you put them into a group, and that will allow you to group trade. And you can just, the only problem is, and you need to find your way around it, is when you group trade, you cannot use your stop losses. So you cannot use this long heavy, for example. You cannot use that. That will not work. And you have to manually exit and enter trades, and that is pretty frustrating because it's almost like it glues you to the monitor. But it's still, when you are trying to utilize your money and put it to better uses, why are you paying however much? Like I said, if you were interested in different point figures and Heikenhashi, or you wanted to utilize them, right? There's more than one way to skin a cat in this scenario. So you can definitely utilize different things that you might be good at them, right? You never know. We need to close this because it's just going off by itself. Yeah, there's plenty of different things, plenty of different ways to skin a cat, as they say. So showing you guys, just letting them run off. I just didn't really care which way they was going. I'm glad to just show you what was going on. We'll make it back. So yeah, there's so many different ways you can move. You can, when you want to, you can change things over. You can move this out. You can change that becomes big. Now you can have these different bits up here. If I wanted to, if you want to pull a chart now and you put the chart down the bottom, and now you can move this up here a little bit, and you could put a chart like this, and then you could bring your DOM if you wanted to, and you can move your DOM to this side and make it thin over the side. Now you've got the opportunity to have them different running. How do you like it? Do you want that to be up the top? Sometimes that suits people, right? So you can easily see, look, am I in profit? Right, we've lost a lot. Okay, cool. So look, we've lost 75%, for example, which is not going to help my TradeZilla. But anyway, so now that in a nutshell is how many things there is to, honestly, you can do in here. You can take off the top bit if you don't like it. If you don't like that trade mode being up here, if you don't want nothing to be up here, you can just have it like that. You know, you can tinker with it in so many different ways. And when you want to move them around, you can just move them around. You can open them up. You can make them bigger, make them smaller, move it from here to here. You can move this from there to there. You know, you can tinker with it in any way you want. Any way you want. You can have it small right here in the middle. You can also add another chart if you want. You can, this is if you want to get creative with it in your own way, you can get creative with it. And that is just what I wanted to show people, that a lot of money's being left on the table when things are not being utilized because we don't understand them. But a lot of the times, look, you can have multiple trading charts and drag them like that. And that's when you see some people, right? If we want ES minis on there, we can have that there now. And then if we wanted another one, we can, I don't want to overkill it because I'm making my point, but we can now bring, you now want your NQs on there, right? We got the minis on there. Okay, cool. So now, boom, you've got 3 different charts on there. And that's when you see, especially when you've got a bigger screen, you can now have multiple things going on at the same time. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that there's a lot of different things that you can utilize on here, and it is a very good platform. And do not be leaving money on the table when you can easily utilize this and make it work for you, because it's so customizable, right? You've even got as well, if you right click here, you can just set a limit order for the minute that it gets there, but you've got to make sure that you make the settings work for you. So because we've come out now, the orders are not showing. So now look, if we go to there, now we put show fills and show trade lines, then it will come up. So now we know that it's there. So now when you put a trade fill, you can go boom and then get in, right? But yeah, thank you for watching. If you did like the video and you actually learned something from it, please put a like on it so other people can actually see it. And let's utilize every tool that we have. Let's save money. You can do group trading on here. You can do all different types of stuff in here. You can customize it to how you want. Yes, you'll get used to it. You will get used to it. And before you know it, just like how trading view was alien to you, you'll get the hang of it. And that's it. You'll get the hang of it, and you'll be 30, 40, 50 pounds, $40, whatever richer, because you won't have to have a group trader, and you won't have to also have a extra account. You won't be flicking through, doing your setups, marking your line up, marking this, doing that, and then going back, right? So obviously you've got all your drawing tools on here, which I didn't really get into, but I'm not going to keep everyone too long. But you've got your drawing lines on here, which you can use. The only problem is they are quite annoying. You do have to double click into it, and then you will have to change it. So you could change it any color that you want, and then you can make the line thicker, and then you can do it like that. And you can use text on there as well. So you can apply it, you can move it about. So now say that, for example, was your line, and you wanted to say that's Asia high, for example. You now would put your text in here, Asia high, and you can change what color it is, and then you just drag it about. There you go. You know, so it's easily utilized, but you've just got to tinker around with it. But that being said, thank you very much for your time. Please like it so other people can get some kind of value from it, and yeah, we'll catch you in the next one.